Hello everyone, I would like to share my thoughts about OverlandPros 4K 270 Overland awning that is recently purchased by me, and I installed it on this Jeep. There are things that I really like about this, and there are things that they need improvement on it. It's very easy to open up. That's one of the things I like it, and it's a freestanding for most of the time. In this beautiful day in Angeles Forest, I don't need that much of support, but there is a wind of 10 to 15 miles per hour. So we will see how it's gonna hold up. So I'm gonna show you how it's open up. This awning is held by two straps at the place. They are pretty good sized straps, and by releasing it you will unfold the triangle attached to this arm. And this unit, it has very steady arms, and as well as their hinge is made very steady. As you can see, the wind is picking up to 15-20 miles per hour, and I'm still able to open this up. He's trying to run away from me, but we'll see how good it's gonna stand up without the legs. So if it's worst case scenario, we're gonna add the legs for support. But as you can see, most of the 270-degree awnings, they become a sail as the wind picks up, and most of them to protect the vehicle or to protect the awning, they make a sacrificial corners on this side, which it breaks, and it gives you the chance to replace that corner instead of replacing the ripstop or replacing the arms. This awning doesn't need any of those because it's so steady that any wind up to 15-20 miles per hour is gonna just hold him up pretty good. However, if you see there's a need for the legs, you can add those legs to it, and you will add a lot of support and steadiness. Just as I mentioned earlier, today because it's windy, I'm just gonna use the legs, but usually it's not required for this build. When I was looking for an awning, I factored in several things. The first thing was the price of the awning. I wanted something quality but not breaking the bank, so something that I can afford but not $2,000 of the awning. And the next thing I was really care about was the quality. Like, I didn't want to get something so aftermarket that it doesn't last long, there's no support for it. And the next thing that was really important was no legs in most of the time that I'm using it. I'm using this, the places that I'm using this, pretty much there's a lot of traffic at night, and people tripped on the down guides and tripped on the poles. I also use this vehicle for National Guard driver training technical operations center at TOC. So soldiers come in and go, and we use this for doing the paperwork before they get in their vehicles. So there's, as you can see, there's a lot of people with their gears, and they might not see the down guides, and we wanted to have a free open area. This awning was able to give me all that stuff that I wanted. At the same time, price wasn't that high. I mean, for the quality you pay, you get a really good amount of awning. Aluminum arms here, they're not super heavy, which brings me to the factor number 4 was the weight. I've seen some awnings from South Africa or from Australia. They were really steady. I saw them in person, but the problem with them, they were very heavy. This is a Wrangler Rubicon JKU. Everything is plastic, and my type of rack that I have, it has a limitation by adding my rooftop tent and my road shower, as you can see, the wind is picking up really good, like to 20-25 miles per hour, and I'm still down this without down guides, so which makes me really happy in this point. This awning is about 52 pounds plus the brackets, which are really sturdy. We can lift the Jeep with those brackets. Now we know that this holds up to 20 miles per hour, because after that one it starts peaking. When I purchased this thing, I take a chance with the OverlandPros because they're fairly newer than the other brands in the market, and I'm totally satisfied with this brand. One thing I want to do, full disclaimer in this point, I paid this in full price, just like any reviews in my channel, and I just get 5% military discount, which everybody can get that, and this review is completely independent. And in that point I would say yes, I love it. If I do it again, yes, I will buy this product again. That said, it doesn't mean it came without any flaws. Material used in this is one of the greatest. The ripstop 280 GSM fabric. It's not super heavy to make this thing a very heavy product, but it's sturdy and it's strong. However, at the corners it's a double stitched and double layer, so that makes it really sturdy, very hard, and it doesn't break that easy. In the same time, it keeps the weight very nice. Aluminum arms, I can't talk enough about these arms. Those are steady with the hinge. I don't see any problem with that one. However, when I open up, unbox this, I've seen some stuff that OverlandPros probably can work on it. For instance, the welds that I really like, and these arms that I really had a good impression on it, I did not like the way they welded. It could have been better welding there. Probably the welders had a bad day that day, or all of them comes like that, but it could have been better welding. It's aluminum welding, it's not easy, but it could have been better. Another thing, when I opened this product from box, it was boxed very well, but there was aluminum shavings and burrs included with the product, so I had to remove that with a vacuum. And on this corner there is an aluminum backing, which is really good product. It's different than the regular ones. Those are double layer with the compartments between them, which is light, but it's very strong. So that's why in this wind of 2025 I had no problem opening this up. However, I believe at the end of it I had to file it a little bit to clean up, and it could have been covered with a plastic end cap. That way it doesn't rub on this cover, because these vehicles are in move, and on or off road they're gonna rub on each other, and at some point it's gonna cut the cover. Another thing that I would do differently about if I was the manufacturer, and it's always easy to criticize some product and make it. If you guys did some products at home and home projects, you would know that. If you're working for a company or you're a product designer, you would know that criticism is much easier than actually making it. The other thing that I really was critic about it was this cover. The cover comes with a very strong zip. The zipper is not an issue. However, the stitches around it is a smaller size of thread, and then the cover itself is not that steady. It doesn't stand up to the rest of the awning. Hopefully in future products, 4K 270 2.0, the cover will be upgraded. Not sure how it's gonna hold up, and I already had some threads came out here. And this is the back plate, is one of the strongest point on this guy. As you can see, it gives you enough shade. One thing about the 270s that people had problem with it, then they don't understand it. Sun moves, and if you're out there for long term, like say the whole day, only thing you can do to keep you in shade, right now it's overcasted, so you see shade everywhere. But in reality, you need the side walls for this guy. If you have the side walls for this guy, you will get your shade areas increased by a lot, and which is my next product to buy probably soon. And since we're talking about side walls, a lot of companies, they use a zipper here, a lot of big names. That's a problem, because zippers get dusty, gets dirty, especially when you have the other piece moved and laid around and it gets dirty and you put it back, then you have a zipper problem. Yes, the remedy to that, you have to oil and clean it all the time. I already oiled this one, brand new one. I lubricated with beeswax based something, and it doesn't have to be something special. Any beeswax based shoe polish will do it. Soap will do it. You comment and below so what you use to lubricate a zip. That way I can learn something too. But in this case you have Velcros here, which is much better coverage and it's much tighter in rain. In the same time, yes, it can get dirty because Velcros have this tendency to keep it, but this side of the Velcro is the one that gets the most dust, but it's up here. So your walls, before you put it up, you can clean it up and then connect it to that and have a clean and very sealed side walls on this unit. One thing I would definitely suggest about this unit, always dry out before you put it back together. That way you avoid mold and mildew on this. If it's really windy, yes, you need a down guide. It's just like everything. I mean, if you have enough wind in a hurricane, you can tip over a Jeep. But that's not the point here. The point is in a regular condition, now we are going to 25-30 miles per hour, we'll see how it holds. In some comments on different videos, I saw that people ask, how is this hold up to water? How waterproof is this? I missed the chance on the rain just a week ago because I wasn't ready for filming, but I got my some water up there, and see how is that gonna hold up. And as you can see, it's running way this way. If we can get a shot from the bottom, you will see type of material this 280 GSM comes with. It's waterproofed layer of some type on it, sprayed, and that doesn't let any water to attach to this. This is a quality product. Usually when it comes like this, you have to add that spray, that waterproofing spray to it, but this one comes with it. And then again, in let's say 20 to 25 mile per hour wind, it holds up really good. So I'm gonna add some more water. If you can see me standing underneath it, and water runs up very easily, and it's dry up here, minus the water that it's sitting as drips. As far as drooping, I'm standing, might be difficult to see that, but I'm standing on a slope, and even that doesn't give me too much drooping on this thing. Again, because of this super heavy duty hinge, I'm sorry. When I was looking for an awning, as I mentioned earlier, this was really important to me after looking at all that, because this is the weakest point in any 270. And this thing is built like I don't want to mention other brands, but like a top-notch brand with a really good quality but light fabric on it. And that's the strong point of OverlandPros. I didn't even know about this brand, but I was looking for other brands, and every brand has a problem that I didn't approve it, or let's say I didn't like it. But in this one, it gets the majority of everything that I wanted to have, and for the price, as I mentioned, I would do it again. Why I choose 4K instead of 6K? My 6K, just to know, there is another extra arm that opens up all the way to here, and you got an extra shade here. For me, that would be nice, but the extra weight on this Jeep, it wasn't reasonable for me. However, closing is not as fast as the opening. You will see, I practiced this a few times, and there's a video in YouTube for this product made that it shows how to close it, and I learned a lot out of it. However, I'm gonna put my thoughts on that closing. Then obviously first thing is you're gonna release the strap. By the way, this is not the original strap, I'm just using this to hold it. And in a windy day like this, closing could be a challenge. After removing the strap, you want to ensure that this part of the awning is folded downwards instead of up. Trust me, it happens to me before. So if there's no wind, there's no need to keep it down, but as you can see, it has a tendency to fly up. You don't want to close it this way. Okay, the water runs out of it still, and it feels dry after that. A really good quality. I like the textile on this. So there's one arm at the top and three at the bottom. Here comes the tricky part. If you don't get this side correctly, you will not be able to close it and you will damage the cover. So in order to close this correctly, you see one triangle, you make that a second triangle but folding like this. You don't like to go very high because that becomes a problem later, but you want to be as high as possible underneath it. Then after holding that together, you start folding these parts upward. And you will try to put that roll at the top. That's really important because that brings this part very skinny. You will not have a problem at the back because it's not that much material gathered, but you will definitely have a problem at front. Because of my rooftop tent, I can't pull this back enough, so sometimes I have problem with it. But yeah, you may have a rooftop tent too, so you want to see that how to manage the cover. So now your hands are empty, you can manage the front. As I mentioned, it's not as easy as opening, but I still believe that with a little bit practice you will get this done faster than me. You want to have the front as tight as possible, plus that roll you made, it has to be at top next to the arm number 4, which is at top. That way you have everything bundled nice. I call this a burrito making practice. If you're good at making burritos, you will get this. So if you see too much resistance, you have to go back and do it again. For example, in this case, it's just about the threshold of putting tension on the zip. I can move it, but I can't move it freely in this point. But since I'm not stretching too much, it's okay. And then both sides are meeting there. I don't think the cover is small. I just believe that you have to all practice how to roll it. It's just one of these things about this product. This side of the cover, you have enough room to add your stakes and your straps. You don't need to leave it on back of the truck. You're always going to have a problem on this side because that's where you're rolling up your triangle. And how good you roll it? Well, in this situation, I tried to do it as quick as I could, and I don't think I did a good job on it. So leave your comment about rolling this thing. Tell me if you have another 270 awning, how is your closing procedure? So with that, I would conclude the review for today. If there is any questions, please comment, and don't forget to subscribe, put the dislike twice, or push the like once. Thank you.